Hi, Phyllis here from southernfrugal.com. Today I wanted to fix some fresh mustard greens. I went out in the garden a little while ago and picked them and have already washed them. And I'm going to fix them in my pressure cooker because you can cook them in 5 minutes. That's right, 5 minutes. And so what will happen is you will retain a lot of the vitamins and minerals in the mustard greens by cooking them in a pressure cooker. Now I want to show you my pressure cooker. This is a Tefal pressure cooker, but it is stainless steel, and the inside of it is stainless steel too. Now I bought this probably 10 years ago, maybe longer, and I remember I had a really hard time finding one that was all stainless steel. All of them had that non-stick coating, which we know now is not so good for you. Now here's the lid, and it has a little seal in it, and it fits on this little itty bitty metal thing right there. And you want to always make sure your seal is in the proper place. And then this is the little indicator that shows you what the pressure is. And I usually put that on and just start it out on the first notch, which will, I don't know if you can see that or not, you probably can't. Anyway, the first little notch shows steam coming out, and then I have a 1 and a 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and cook these on 2. But before you put the lid on, you'll need to make sure that everything is good and hot and boiling. So to cook mustard greens, I'm going to turn my burner on high, and I'm going to put in 3/4 a cup of water. That's it. And I'm going to let this get really hot and steaming before I put the lid on. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my mustard greens in, and they'll seem like a lot, but remember they're going to shrink way down. Big handful right in. Just mash them down. Now it's the 1st of December, and we've already had a couple of really heavy frosts, so you don't really have to worry about your greens being bitter if you pick them for cooking after the frost. Now we've been eating on the salads that we're growing out in the yard as fresh salads for, I'm going to guess, 2 months now. But here's what happens with the mustard. It gets hot as fire. And so we have stopped putting those in our fresh salad because they're just too hot. Now the spinach, the kale, and the baby collard greens are all fine. We're still eating those, and of course the onions. But the mustard, we're now having to cook it. And the garden plot is about 2 feet, that I'm growing the mustard in, is about 2 feet wide and about 25 feet long. So you can easily grow these in your backyard. It's just very easy. And remember, they're a winter crop, so being a winter crop, you don't have to worry about bugs so much then. All right, I'm going to let this boil up, and I've got this much again to put in there that I've still got in the sink. And by the way, I did have to wash this through 5 different washes to get all the sand out of it, because we'd had rain, and the rain kind of beats the sand up on the leaves. So once this is boiling, and just before I get ready to put the lid on it, we'll be back. All right, my mustard greens have cooked way down. Now this is a whole sink full of mustard greens, and you see how far they cook down? I'll let you look in there. 3/4 a cup of water. Now I'm going to put my lid on there. Line up your little arrows, or whatever kind you have. Now I'm going to put my little vent cover on, and I'm going to put it on to vent. So when the steam is rising out pretty rapidly from this little hole about this high, then I'm going to turn it over to 2. And again, my burner is on high. Now this is a little safety valve here. Let me get this so you can see. This is a little safety valve right there, and it's purple, or sort of a lilac color. And when the steam pressure is up, that's going to just pop up from way down in there. So we're going to let that steam come up, and then I'm going to turn it to a 2, and I'm going to, once the steam is up, I'm going to cook it for about 5 minutes. Now during that time I'll have to turn my burner down because right now it's on high. And the advantage of this is if I was cooking these just in a pot with water, first of all, a lot of the vitamins and minerals are going to go out in the water. And secondly, I'm going to use a lot more electricity to cook. Now you can bake a potato in these in about 15 minutes. So if you're a homemaker who works outside the home, well, these would really come in handy for you. In fact, you might even want 2. Because you can cook chicken, everything imaginable in these. All right, now see, I want to see if you can see my steam coming up. You can't really see it, but it's coming up, way up. And let me get a little closer here. Let me see. That little button right there. See it? That little purple button has sealed off. And that's a safety valve in case you forgot it or something. The only thing that would hurt anything with this little thing would blow out. All right, the steam is coming up pretty good now. I'm going to turn it down to 2. You've got a 1 and a 2 on there. And different pressure cookers have different little caps on them and whatever, but they all work basically the same. Now, my steam vent is closed, this one is closed, and I'm going to turn this down to about medium-low because I don't want it to start steaming all out the sides. If it does that, that's an indication you need to turn your burner down. Alright, this will cook in about 5 minutes, and when it gets done, we'll be back and I'll show you what I do then. Hi, I wanted to show you when you need to cut your burner down. Now it's been about 3 minutes and see all the steam coming out? That tells me that I need to turn my burner down all the way down to low. Okay, you hear it whistling? So, alright, when it gets done, we'll be back. Okay, my mustard greens have cooked. And I'm going to show you what to do next. Now you have to follow the directions, but on greens what you do is just sit it down in a sink of cold water and let the steam, little steam vent, go down. That way you know there's no danger in taking off the lid. You never want to take the lid off until you're sure that the steam is down. So, and another thing you can do is run a little cold water over the side of it. You just don't want it to suck any water in those 2 openings. Alright, see the little vent went down. Alright, so now I'm going to release it. Got it turned on to the little steam vent. I'll burn my hand on the top of it. Alright, now I can take that off. You always want to remove that, and that way you're 100% sure there's no steam left in there. Alright, now we're going to take our lid off. There they are, all done in 5 minutes. Actually, it took longer to let it come up to a boil. Alright, let me turn this up a little bit so you can see. Alright, now what I'm going to do is take my scissors. These are just regular scissors, but I call these my kitchen scissors, and I keep about 3 pair of them in my kitchen at all times, okay? So I didn't cut the leaves up before I cooked them, so now I'm just going to cut them up in the pot, make them easier to eat. Now you can tell by the way I'm cutting them, they're very, very tender. Okay. Put a little salt in them. A couple of tablespoons of canola oil. And that's it. Stir those around a little bit, and a lot of times I just go ahead and put them back on the burner you know, and heat them up a little more since I put the salt on them. But anyway, you can actually eat them just like this. There are my mustard greens. And because they're organic, okay? And I just picked them this morning. There's what they look like. They are so delicious and super fresh. And all of my vitamins and minerals and whatever are still in the pot, okay? So, I hope you'll try this, and I'm going to give you some links for some of the pressure cookers on Amazon and let you have a look at them. You'll need to get a size probably that's big enough in case you wanted to fix a chicken in it, because you can fix like a whole fryer very quickly in the pressure cooker and many other things. And while I'm here, I wanted to show you this little book. I think you can see that. Probably, yeah, you can see that. This is for different meats. Beef stew, 10 to 12 minutes complete. Isn't that amazing? And my mother-in-law used to always fix her beef stew in her pressure cooker, and it was always super tender and absolutely delicious. All you have to do is just roll it in a little flour and brown it in the pressure cooker, then add the water, bring the steam up, 10 to 12 minutes, you've got beef stew. Now I want to show you some more. Now this booklet again is one that my mother got with the first pressure cooker that she got years ago in the early 1950s, I think. And a little booklet came with mine, but she gave me her old pressure cooker because it's just her, she wasn't using it much, so I started using it and used that for years. You see, you can tell how old this is from the pictures. They're all black and white. And of course you can can in a pressure cooker safely. Yeah. Barbecued chicken, 15 minutes. Isn't that something? I mean, it's just really amazing how fast you can cook stuff. Wild duck, 25 minutes. Venison, 35 minutes. Again, this is the old Presto cooker. Now here's what we did today, the greens, and these were mustard greens, 5 minutes, and you can see that's exactly what it took. So you can save a tremendous amount on electricity using a pressure cooker. And we used to fix cabbage all the time by just cutting it in quarters and steaming it. You can cook it in 3 or 4 minutes. So if you work and you need to be able to fix supper pretty quick, you could probably use a couple of pressure cookers and you could have all homemade meals really, really fast. Again, this is a Tefal one that I'm using, and the reason I got, and it does not have the that black lining, the no-stick lining, and I had to really search to find one that was all stainless steel. But now Amazon has got all kinds that are stainless steel. So anyway, I hope you will get yourself a pressure cooker if you don't already have one. See you next time.